Hey friends, Adam Chal here, Place Real Estate Team, Awaken Realty. We're early March 2024, so I'm here as always, like clockwork, with your February 2024 market update. Let's get into some Greater Vancouver numbers. We'll do some Fraser Valley numbers, and then we'll go over a couple of new things that are here in the news in the past month. So Greater Vancouver, Metro Vancouver, Greater Vancouver saw 2,070 sales last month, which was 45% up from January, so month over month. Now, what's important to note, this was still 23.3% below the 10-year average. Number of new listings, interestingly, was pretty much on par with the 10-year average. So 4,560 new listings came on the market last month. So we're starting to see an increase in the level of inventory, more people coming back to the market and saying, okay, now may be a good time for me to sell my property. Fraser Valley, 1,235 sales, up 32% from January, still 21% below the 10-year average. So the number of transactions is still a lot lower. New listings on the market, 2,797, which is about 4% above the 10-year average. So again, Fraser Valley seeing a similar tale, that new listings coming on the market is hitting that usual amount we would expect this time of year. Now, anecdotally, what I've seen from offers on our listings, from open houses, from showings with buyers, there's tending at the moment to be a bit more enthusiasm, a bit more willingness to commit to the market, a bit more confidence in the market, if that makes sense. So we're seeing multiple offers, we're seeing busier open houses, we're seeing more showing requests, which is great. And I think that really has to do with interest rates and a bit more confidence that we know buyers are assuming that rates are probably going to be the same or lower than they are right now come 3, 6, 9, 12 months versus higher. So we tend to assume, or the collective market assumes, that the Bank of Canada has done raising rates as much as they will in this cycle. Two interesting things that happened in the last 30 days. One is BC, or I guess the feds, have introduced a 20% flipping tax. So if you buy a home and you resell it within the first 2 years of ownership, you'll be subject to a 20% tax on that. That's in addition to the tax you would typically pay if you were, let's say, flipping a home, which is categorized as business income. So if you make $50,000 buying a house, renovating it to a usable standard and selling it, that income is taxed by the CRA. In addition to that, you'd be subject to a 20% tax. So let's say, for example, if you're at the highest marginal tax rate and you bought and sold a house within 2 years for business purposes, so business income like a flip, you would be probably taxed at something like 73% once everything's said and done. So that was something interesting that happened in the last 30 days. The second thing that happened is one of the BC MLAs touted the possibility of rent control in BC. So that's when your tenant moves out of your property and you find a new tenant. She was suggesting that we restrict the amount you can increase that rent. So as you know right now, if you're locked in a tenancy, if you're in a tenancy agreement, we can only raise the amount by a certain percentage. What this MLA was suggesting is that once that tenant moves out, it doesn't matter what's happening in the market, but you as a landlord can only raise your rents a certain amount, which is super interesting. So it seems to me that BC and the feds are taking the view of the evil investor that's out here in the marketplace and really trying to put a dampener on that. And it makes you wonder why people would still want to invest when they're trying to tax people on, let's say, a pre-sale purchase. Let's say you made a pre-sale purchase and you're going to sell it, and now you have an additional 20% tax. So it's definitely restricting things like that. It's definitely restricting activity in the market in that sense. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out in the next few months. So those are two things that I've seen in the last 30 days. Your statistics are below. Let me know if you've got any questions. Call me anytime, 778-385-6141. Make it a great day.